Hi everyone, Sarah Burt from EarthWise, bringing to you this week a subject that has been appearing in my clinic all week really, and this is the subject of sleep. It is becoming an epidemic, people not sleeping properly, and so I thought it was really important to bring this week to this video, because what I wanted to do was leave you with 5 very key essential herbs, supplements and food ideas that you could include in your life that's definitely going to help to regulate sleep patterns, because it is vital for us that we sleep well. It's not just about feeling refreshed and feeling good. It is in deep sleep and the very important quality deep sleep that we get that all of our cells will detox, our hormones are restored, our immune system is restored, and basically the vitality of our body depends on this deep restful sleep that we get. So many people are just assuming that 3-4 hours of sleep or broken sleep or not being able to fall asleep or having very broken sleep is just normal, and it's really not. So as always, what I wanted to do is explain a little bit about the sleep rhythms that we go through so that we can begin to understand what exactly is going wrong. Because as always, I feel that with this information, we feel more empowered, and then we are able to make the changes in our lifestyles because we understand why we need to. So our whole sleep-wake pattern in our lives is governed by something called circadian rhythms. Now, these are rhythms that at night play out in 90-minute spats of cycling. The first 90-minute is light sleep, and this is where we begin to just disassociate from the day. Our body becomes a little bit more relaxed. The second stage is N2, and this is actually going more into deeper sleep. Our heart rhythm starts to slow down, our brain waves start to lower, and our temperature will start to drop. But it's the N3, which is the third stage of this circadian rhythm pathway, that is the most important. This is when all of our organs, our systems detox, the immune system can recover, hormone regulation is played out, and it is essential. And it is this part of deep sleep that most people who I'm seeing in my clinic are just not getting. Typically, if you wake up between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning, that is a key sign that as your liver starts to do its very important role of detoxing, that if you wake up, it's literally because at that stage the body is saying, I'm not going into deep sleep, so we cannot do this detoxification process. And that is why people are waking up feeling groggy and tired, and their energy levels are sort of pivoting around about a 5, a 6 or a 7 throughout the day, and that is just not right. This vital restoration of all of our cells in our body is essential for our immune systems. So understanding what's behind the circadian rhythms is important too, because we have in the deep recesses of our brain a little gland called the pineal gland, so called actually because it looks like a little pine cone, but its main job is to produce the hormone melatonin. And melatonin is so important with regards to those sleep rhythms that we have. Sorry, that's my cat in the background, just having a little bit of a conversation with the world. We'll just ignore him. So melatonin is massively counteracted by cortisol levels. So any stress that we have in our bodies, if we have too much stress in our bodies, we have too much cortisol, and that can really affect melatonin production from the pineal gland. It's really important that we have very, very good procedures before bedtime, because that will then indicate to the pineal gland that if sleep is imminent, and it can start to produce high quality levels of melatonin. So regular sleep patterns are absolutely essential. Dim lights before we go to bed, so all of this blue screening and stuff like that is just literally causing way too much cortisol in our bloodstreams. And then we've got things like perhaps having a lovely warm Epsom salt bath before we go to bed because it's so high in magnesium, and magnesium is a really good muscle relaxant. So it really helps to just get us prepared for that sleep phase that is coming, and the pineal gland will register, all of that's in place. Perhaps having a soothing cup of chamomile tea, passionflower tea, or valerian tea. Things like these herbs are well known to just calm and soothe the nervous system. So this is all then helping the pineal gland to register, okay, we need to start preparing ourselves for sleep so that I can start to produce melatonin, which is going to have a massive effect on the circadian rhythms, allowing this person to go through stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 of the sleep pattern. So shift work, of course, is going to massively disrupt the way in which we regulate our circadian rhythms. Jet lag can also have a really impactful long-term impact, actually, on how we sleep, because once we have jet lag, it takes weeks and weeks for those circadian rhythms to re-regulate themselves. Like I said, short-term stress, being on your phone for too long before bed, these are all going to have quite a lot of impact. Now, melatonin, as you know, I'm sure you've heard of, can be taken as a supplement that's bought over the counter to help regulate sleep. The problem is with that is that the body gets very used to that and it stops being effective. So obviously the idea is to, rather than just go and buy a supplement over the counter, unless it's for short-term use, is to try and get your own melatonin levels much, much higher. There he goes, the noisy cat. Anyway, the magnesium is very, very dependent on B6 levels. So lots of B6 in the diet would be fantastic. It's also very dependent on, hang on a second, I had a bit of a mind blank there. B6 is very important, and tryptophan, an amino acid called L-tryptophan, is also very, very important, because L-tryptophan is the precursor to produce lots of serotonin. And if you have lots of serotonin in your bloodstream, then it converts into melatonin. So L-tryptophan is an amino acid. It needs to be, it's found in protein. It's an essential protein. You can get it in supplements, in between 250 and 500 milligrams per night, taken just before you go to bed, will really help that production of the melatonin in our blood streams. So we've got B6 being important, we've got L-tryptophan being important, we've got magnesium being an essential ingredient, and we've got zinc as well, which is also really important. But some of the most important foods that we can eat that are really going to increase our melatonin levels would be things like oats is a really, really good supplement. Bananas, goji berries as well. I have got the noisiest cat today, sorry about that. Goji berries, oats, bananas. So actually breakfast, having a lovely overnight oat mixture that we put goji berries in, banana, fantastic to really help to increase the ingredients that make melatonin. We've got salmon, we've got turkey and chicken, which is why at Christmas time, after having that big turkey roast, people end up having a real slump and just feeling really sleepy. Tofu is also really, really good as a raw ingredient, and walnuts and not sunflower, pumpkin seeds as well. So all of those give these vital ingredients into our bodies so that we can produce our own really good qualities of melatonin. If, however, you are struggling with insomnia and it's short-term use that you're going to think about using melatonin for, generally a sort of over-the-counter dose is about 2 to 3 milligrams taken every night to just slowly but surely ease your body into producing more of its own melatonin. But as a practitioner, I actually would recommend 5 milligrams, and I would recommend it for short-term use. And then you ease into 2 to 3 milligram dosage, and then obviously by putting those supplements in your diet, B6, magnesium, zinc and L-tryptophan, you can start to produce more of your own melatonin. A side note though, because L-tryptophan is going to produce more serotonin in your bloodstream, people that are on SSRI drugs, citalopram, sertraline, Prozac, etc., to help with anxiety, depression, have to be careful with taking too much tryptophan, because obviously you can have too much serotonin in your bloodstream, which is not a good thing. You wouldn't believe it, but it's not a good thing. We can talk about that another time. So obviously lifestyle, guys, you know, those things that help us put us into a much more relaxed state before we go to bed are essential. But I hope that's a few ideas on foods that we can increase in our diet, supplements that we can increase in our diet or use short term, and last but not least, those vital herbs: chamomile, passionflower, lavender, hops. These are all things that, you know, are commonly known to actually help benefit the nervous system. So yeah, any comments that you'd like to make me aware of. If you've tried certain things and they're not working and you want a little bit of clarity on why they aren't working, drop me just a little note in the box and I'll get to you. And obviously, if this information is useful, please just subscribe, because then I can keep producing these videos, go more and more into what it is, just to employ very simple, very easy techniques in our day-to-day lives that are making a massive difference in my clinic with people that I'm seeing. So leaving you with that information, lots of love and light, and hope that it all finds you healthy and happy. As always, bye for now.